everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I would love it if you would stick around and subscribe and become part of the Ricky's Corner family. I would really appreciate that. Today I'm coming to you with a question and answer segment of Temple University. As some of you know, I am a student at Temple University. I am a sophomore studying tourism and hospitality management, and I just wanted to give you guys an insight on what Temple life is like and answer some of the questions that you guys gave to me. This is going to be part one. If you guys have more questions, just leave them in the comments below. Reach out to me. I will answer questions for you guys throughout this rest of the semester, throughout the summer, until you are committed or until you guys even move in. I feel that it's very helpful when you watch videos of other people attending that school, because it gives you an insight of the lifestyle, of the student activities, of the dorms, of everything. And when I was applying at Temple, I watched a lot of YouTube videos about Temple just because I wanted a student's perspective rather than just what the university was sending me via email or mail or watching their YouTube videos, because they weren't personal like I'm trying to make this video for you guys. So I'm going to get into the questions. The first question is, what are some of the activities and clubs you suggest freshmen to join? Well, when you guys first move in, you're going to have a Temple Fest, and there's going to be tables and tables and tables of all the student organizations that are offered at Temple, and there are hundreds. I can't even name them all. I'm only involved in a select few. The ones that I am involved in and that I think are very fun and I would recommend anybody to join are MCPB, and that is the Main Campus Program Board. I am a committee member, general body member. I just go to the meetings and I help the e-board plan these events. I volunteer for the events, and these are the events that are held on campus. When we first move in, once everybody's there, there's the Temple Carnival, I think, and that is something that Main Campus Program Board puts on. There's a Fall Fest where we're decorating pumpkins in mason jars. That's something that the Main Campus Program Board puts on. There's also Owl Spa that they do during finals week. These are all the events that are on campus. Every Friday we have the Night Owl events, also done by Main Campus Program Board. So it's very fun to get involved because you get to meet new people in this organization, and you get to help plan these events, and you get volunteer hours for those events that you choose to help out with. So it's a great way to meet new people and a great way to get involved within the campus community. Another organization that I am a part of is the Hootathon Dance Marathon, which is a 12-hour dance marathon to benefit CHOP and the Children's Miracle Network. I have done it every year, and it is so rewarding to see these miracle kids and families come to the event, and you hear their story and how the money that we're raising goes, and it helps these children tremendously. And even if they're having a really crappy day, they are still smiling and they're still energetic, and they are the sweetest kids you will ever meet. So for me to see that the money I raised is going directly to some of these families, it makes my heart so happy. But this year I was involved even more. I was on a committee, on the hospitality committee, and that was where I reached out to local restaurants and stores and things like that to see if they would donate food to our event. So that gave me even more of an incentive to fundraise and more of a way to be involved, and you meet even more people because you are friends with just that committee. So when you're helping to plan the events, you become very close with those people, and then when you go to the dance, you're all dancing together and you're hanging out together, and it is such a fun experience. I'm gonna make a video of that day, and I know it's tiring because you're on your feet for 12 hours, but it is one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and I would tell all of my friends to do that. I think those are the only two that I'm really involved in, but there are clubs for everything. If there's something that interests you and there's not a club, you can start it, but you can start any club that you want. if it's not already at Temple. So make sure you do your research before you come and see what clubs you might be interested in. Go to their tables during Temple Fest. It's a great way to get involved, and I highly recommend getting involved because it's a great way to meet new people. Another question is, what are some tips for freshmen when adjusting to the college life? Moving away from home for the first time can be hard, and I've been through it, and obviously because I'm here now as a sophomore. And I kind of had a different experience. I was a freshman at a different university, Marymount University, and it was really close to home, but it was still really hard for me. I went home on the weekends because I could. And then I decided that I didn't really like that college, so I transferred to Temple in the spring semester of 2017. And so I kind of had to adjust twice, once being really close to home and then one time being a little farther away from home. Being farther away from home, in my opinion, was better because I really experienced the college life. I didn't go home on weekends. I met a lot of new people. I got involved, and I never said no to anything. And that is one tip that I can give you, is don't say no to anything. Say yes to anything that you can, because it's an excuse to meet new people. And in college, people don't care if you don't have friends. And I know that's harsh, but like when you were in elementary school, middle school, high school, if you were sitting alone at lunch, maybe somebody would come up to you and say, hey, do you want to come sit with us? And the teachers would help you all get involved and meet new people. In college, that is not a thing, and you really have to be an advocate for yourself in that matter. So get involved within the clubs, within classes. Get involved in any way you can. Make sure you call your parents once in a while. There are times where I am so busy with school and 2.5, 3 weeks go by and I was like, I haven't called my mom in 3.5 weeks. I should probably call her and tell her I'm alive. So make sure you do that, because this is if you're one of the first children to go away to college, it's gonna be hard on your parents too. Even if you're not the first kid, when you move out, it's always hard on your parents, and they want to make sure that you're doing okay, that you're having fun, that you're being safe. So make sure you keep in touch with them. As far as other tips, I mean, as a freshman, your RAs are going to put on a lot of events and meet and mingles and stuff like that. I would highly advise to go to that. I didn't go to all those, and I kind of regret that, because again, that's also a way to meet the people on your floor or in your wing, on your however your hall is divided up. And it's nice to know your neighbors, because if you need some milk or you want to play a game and you need those people, whatever. It's nice to know your neighbors, because it gives you more of a community feeling in your dorm. So that's this is some of the main things that I can think of right now as far as tips for freshmen. I had a lot of questions about housing and how that works. Temple is very limited on housing, so when the opportunity comes to you to apply for housing or select your room, you want to jump on that as quickly as possible. I think the majority of freshmen are guaranteed housing, but I'm not completely sure on that. Freshmen, I think it's better for you to live on campus, so there are more opportunities for you. There are more freshman dorms than there are upperclassmen dorms, which is, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. A lot of upperclassmen decide to move off campus after their freshman year, so there will be a lot of space for you guys. So I really would not stress out about getting housing. I would just jump on it as soon as the opportunity opens for you guys. And you don't commit until May, so they're not going to open housing for you until after decision day. Another one, could you explain the freshman dorms and about them and my experience? So the freshman dorms, there are a couple halls. There's Morgan South, there is 1300, there is White, and J and H. I feel like I missed 1940. I think those are the ones that are open to freshmen. So I lived in Morgan South my transfer year, and I was still considered a freshman then because I lost a lot of credits. So I will actually have that dorm room tour linked below. I loved Morgan South. I thought it was very modern and cute, and we made it our own, and that was my favorite dorm. It is the most expensive, so if you're looking for price, I would not choose that one, but it is extremely nice. And then 1300, I live in 1300 now. I will also link that dorm room tour, except I am in the upperclassmen apartments. So floors 1 through 3 are lowerclassmen, and 4 and 5 are upperclassmen. So I have a legitimate apartment, but the freshmen just have the bedrooms and then a little common area when you walk in, and then your bathrooms. And then Whitehall is the same. You have a little bathroom in your room, I believe, and you share that. It's double occupancy. And then 1940 is similar to 1300. And what am I missing? J&H. J&H is very community style with community bathrooms and double occupancy rooms. I cannot go into too much detail because I haven't been in all the residence halls, but you should definitely visit the housing website so you can see the layouts, and they'll have virtual tours of that as well. And you could also look on YouTube for specific dorm room tours, because I know a lot of people at Temple have YouTube channels and they have their dorm room tour on there. Is it a commuter school? Not totally. There is a big chunk of commuters, but it's not like dead on the weekends. There will always be people there. I'm there every weekend. But if you're considering to commute, don't let that stray you from that. A lot of people commute. When does housing open up, and will putting your down deposit sooner give you a better option? Here's how the $250 deposit works. It might not give you a better option, but it will give you a better time slot. When I did my housing for this year, the last semester, let's rephrase that. In the spring semester of 2017, we had to pay our $250 deposit. So then a couple weeks later, we would apply for housing for the next school year. And my roommate did hers a couple days before mine, and she got to pick the room a day before me. So she ended up doing that. So yes, when you put your $250, will give you a better time slot, but not necessarily better options. Because again, it's first come, first serve with room choices. The dangerousness of Philly, my parents are nervous. Well, we all say if we all had $1 for every time somebody was like, oh, North Philly, or oh, Temple, or how's the life around there, we'd all pay for a good chunk of our tuition. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Always walk in groups and make sure you have your Temple alerts on. You will get Temple alerts quite often. Do not let that scare you. And I don't think the area should prevent you from coming to Temple, because Temple is a very good school. You just have to, like I said, be aware of your surroundings. Don't walk alone at 2 o'clock in the morning, because that's just not a smart idea. But, you know, in daylight, it's daylight at night. It's fine. You need to grow up a little bit in this atmosphere and be smart and make good choices in regards to safety. Pros and cons of Temple, what made you decide Temple, and just tips for us getting into college. Things that I wish I knew. Pros and cons of Temple. Pros, it's a great school. There's great people. I love my major. There's always something to do. For me, a major con is I'm out of state, so my tuition is sky high. But obviously, that did not stop me from going to Temple, because we're all going into crippling debt anyways. So, that's like the only con I can think of. You need to be a good student, I think, in order to go to Temple, because for me, it is very hard. If you are not one that can like sit down and study for a couple hours, it's going to be hard for you. Like when I went to my old school, Marymount, I did a lot better, and then I came here and I was like, oh, this is a little bit harder. So college is hard. If you were a C student in high school, you definitely need to study to get a C and B's. I'm a B and A student, but I have to study a lot for that because I don't think it's that easy. Some of these things are not as common sense. There are you have to read, you have to pay attention in class in order to do these. Like, so in high school, if you missed a class, your teacher would say, oh, here's what you missed, and here's the notes, and yada, yada, yada. In college, that's not the case. You missed a class, and you can get your notes from a classmate. The professor does not care. I'm sure many of you probably know that, but that's the big difference between academics in high school and college. What I wish I knew, I don't really know. That was a long time ago, it feels. I wish I knew, I don't know. I wish that I don't know. I can't really say there's anything that I wish I knew, because college is such a great experience, and it's a learning, it's a way of learning, and you learn so much more than math and English and accounting. You learn to be an adult, and you have to do your own laundry, you have to get a job, you have to manage your time, you have to cook if you choose to cook and don't have a full meal plan. So maybe, I wish I knew that adulting was going to be harder. It's really hard. Like, I knew it was going to be hard, but I did not know it was going to be this hard. So you're in for a lot of adult learning rather than just what you think college is, and it's going to class. It's a lot more than going to class. Getting a job and what to do. So I have a job that's off campus. So you could a lot of people will post on the Facebook group, even in class of 2022, and if you are members of other groups, they'll post on there saying, hey, my job is looking for a server or a hostess or a delivery person, and you can get the information from them and apply there. But on the portal, the TU portal, there is a jobs link that you can click, and it'll give you all the student positions, and you just apply straight on there. And if your resume looks good and the people that are looking to hire you like it, they will reach out to you. And there are things like in the library, they're within your school, they're with the Temple Police, they're with anything around campus. And it's not that hard to apply. It's very simple. The only con of that is they're between $8 and $10 an hour, and you are limited to the number of hours you can work because school is your first priority. So if you're looking to work more than 10 hours, you definitely want to get a job off campus. Or you can do both. It's up to you and your time management skills. Can you talk about the diversity of the student population? It is very diverse. We are that's one of the values of Temple University, is to promote a diverse student population. So if you're worried that you may not feel welcome, that you should not have that worry, because everybody here is very welcoming, and we have people from all different countries and ethnicities, and it is a great melting pot of people. The safety at Temple and nightlife. I talked about the safety a little bit earlier in the video, and I mentioned that you have to be smart and walk in groups and be aware of your surroundings. And then as far as nightlife, there is always something to do. there are parties if you are a party goer. They are very easy to find. You just ask around and you'll be good. And then they have things on campus all the time. So if party's not your thing, there are events on campus all the time. There's movies playing in the Reel. If it's a Friday night, there'll be the Owl Night event on every Friday. There's something. The first Friday of every month is bingo. It's a great time. You guys should go. So you shouldn't feel like there's nothing to do, because if you are in that mindset, you are wrong. You can always find something to do. Could you talk about your major? I'm interested in hospitality. Well, I'm happy to hear that you're interested in hospitality. I love it. So it's part of the School of Sport, Tourism, and Hospitality Management. And so you either sport and rec or you're tourism and hospitality. And there are some classes that are intertwined with both. So you'll be with sport and rec people and you'll be with tourism people. But once you move from those, you will just be tourism people and you'll just be sport and rec people. The thing with hospitality is they do require a lot from you. It is something that you definitely have to work for. So if you are a hard worker, I definitely recommend this major. We have to do 2 internships, a junior internship and a senior internship. We have to have 250 industry hours, and because you are an incoming class, you'll have to have those from 4 different organizations. And you guys may think that, whoa, 250 hours, that is so much, and it's really not. Like, I am basically done with mine, and a lot of people at the time they graduate have upwards of 1,000 industry hours. So what I do recommend though is I recommend starting those your freshman year, starting to get those done as early as possible, so when you enter your internships and your seminars, you have those done, because that is a requirement in order to take certain classes. Definitely you want to be in very close ties with your advisor, with your CSPD advisor, which is the Center for Student Professional Development. But for me, it's a great experience. It's a great way to meet new people, and I just love learning about why people travel and where they travel, and casinos and restaurants, and like the psychology of it all is so much fun. So I definitely recommend that major. I mean, I know I'm biased towards it because it is what I'm studying, but it is a great time, and it's a great school. You meet great people, and your professors have been in the industry before, so they can give you that first insight, that primary insight. So that is all the questions that were asked to me for this video. If you have more questions, you can leave them in the comments, and I will do a part 2 of this, or if you want me to go into more depth of something, don't be afraid to ask. I love doing these videos, and I'm really gonna start doing them more. I know I say that in all of my videos, but I'm really gonna start trying to do maybe at least a weekly video of life on Temple and life as a college student. I'm definitely going to do one of that Hootathon event, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, I will have the dorm room tours linked below, and I will also have my dorm room hauls linked below. So as you are deciding what things you need for college, you can give those a look as well. But thank you guys for asking me these questions. Thank you for watching the video. I'm so glad I was able to do this for you. I love it if you'd subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video.